Hello and welcome to the information session for the Clark County School District's Accelerated Licensure Teacher Academy, otherwise known as ALTA. CCSD ALTA is a high-quality alternative route to licensure or ARL program. Whereas we were once known as the CCSD ARL program, we have recently updated our name to the CCSD Accelerated Licensure Teacher Academy, ALTA for short. Today we will provide you with a brief overview of the Accelerated Licensure Teacher Academy, discuss the ALTA application process, and explore some of the supports you will receive throughout your first years of teaching with CCSD ALTA. There are several documents accompanying this session that will aid in your understanding. Please ensure you download or print them for your reference. Now you might be thinking to yourself, what is an alternative route to licensure? Let's start with a brief explanation of what we mean by this term. There are essentially two ways to obtain a teaching license, through the traditional route or through an alternative one. A traditional teacher candidate typically earns a 4 or 5 year degree in education, which includes 14 to 16 weeks of student teaching in a classroom. Traditional candidates must also pass competency examinations and can then apply for a standard teaching license with the Nevada Department of Education. Alternative route to licensure candidates have a bachelor's degree in a field other than education and, after passing the required competency exams, must complete an approved ARL program to gain classroom experience and pedagogical training. Upon successful completion, candidates are eligible to apply for a non-renewable conditional teaching license, which is valid for 3 years. Within the 3-year timeline, candidates must complete required education coursework, which we will talk about in just a few minutes. After all the conditions of licensure are met, candidates may apply to convert to a standard teaching license. Now that we have a better understanding of these two pathways into the classroom, let's dive in deeper and get to know the requirements and expectations of CCSD ALTA. This alternative pathway to licensure is offered based on CCSD classroom vacancy needs. We are state approved to offer the following areas of licensure: elementary, secondary math, English, physical science and biological science, and special education. The elementary program certifies you to teach kindergarten through 5th grade. The secondary program is subject-focused and certifies you to teach grades 7 through 12. We also offer 4 areas of licensure for special education, which include early childhood developmentally delayed, autism, intellectual disabilities, and generalist. Various grade levels or ages are associated with the special education licensure areas. Each of these programs consists of a pre-service or pre-hire component, as well as an in-service or post-hire one. Let's talk numbers as we dive into the pre-service or pre-hire component of the program. We pride ourselves on developing effective teachers and offer a rigorous 10-week teacher pre-service preparation program. This commitment includes 1 night a week for up to 4 hours and Saturdays for 6 hours. Through these sessions, you will learn what to teach and how to teach, along with positive classroom management strategies and tips for establishing effective classroom culture. Also, during the pre-service portion of the program, all candidates are paired up with an experienced CCSD teacher for 20 full days. This classroom field experience provides candidates the opportunity to practice their newly acquired skills in a live classroom setting with real students under the guidance and with the support of their assigned cooperating teacher. Attendance for all sessions and field experience days is mandatory, and upon successful completion of the 10-week program, candidates are eligible and can apply for an alternative routes to licensure conditional teaching license with the Nevada Department of Education. This non-renewable license is valid for 3 years but can be converted to a standard teaching license should all of the conditions be met. We will be discussing the in-service component of CCSD ALTA, those are the things that you'll need to do to convert to a standard teaching license, in just a bit. The cost of the program is $500 and funds our teacher leaders, cooperating teachers, and all program materials. There is also a $55 background clearance fee payable at the time of acceptance. What is the price for changing student lives, or the feeling you receive while making a positive difference in the lives of students? Priceless. As an important note, the CCSD Accelerated Licensure Teacher Academy is non-paid and non-credit bearing. We actually have a visual of this ALTA timeline for clearer understanding. This represents the pre-service or pre-hire portion of the program, which includes the 10-week training and the 20-day classroom field experience, both of which we've just discussed. Upon successful completion of the portion of the program, you can apply for an ARL conditional license with the Nevada Department of Education. As an important note, this pre-service training is valid for 2 years. So essentially, you will have 2 years from successful completion of CCSD ALTA in which to obtain a position in a CCSD public school and apply for your conditional license. Employment on an ARL license obtained through the CCSD Accelerated Licensure Teacher Academy is restricted to a CCSD public school. You would not be able to work at a charter school or private school on this license until you convert it to a standard license. Now let's talk about the in-service or post-hire component. This portion of the program includes all of the requirements that you will need to complete within 3 years to convert to a standard teaching license. They include attending mandatory CCSD professional development within your first year of teaching, meeting with your site-based mentor during year 1, completing all required licensure coursework at an accredited college or university, passing any additional competency exams, and receiving 2 effective evaluations within the 3 years. Remember, you'll have 3 years to complete all of these requirements. Now, before taking a second, more comprehensive look at our ALTA graphic, let's look specifically at the in-service licensure coursework requirement. As a condition of an ARL license, you are required to take and pass education coursework. The coursework amount varies depending on your area of licensure. Requirements usually range from 21 to 35 credits and must be completed within those 3 years. Once your ARL conditional license is issued, the 3-year clock starts ticking. You will work directly with an academic advisor at a regionally accredited college or university to enroll in the appropriate classes to fulfill this requirement. The academic advisor will review your transcripts and outline a program of study. Although the CCSD ALTA team would love to assist you in this process, we are not an institute of higher education and cannot preview transcripts or advise on college coursework. We highly suggest you check out one of the local universities or colleges to complete the classes you need, as many of them are already approved at the state level as a teacher preparation program and are well aware of the requirements for licensure. Additionally, although you may choose to pursue a master's degree along with the coursework, it is not a requirement of CCSD ALTA. As a reminder, there are several documents that will accompany this recording that will clarify coursework requirements and timelines. Here is ALTA visually laid out in its entirety. Before, we only saw the pre-service or pre-hire portion. Now we have added the in-service or post-hire component to better solidify your understanding of the Accelerated Licensure Teacher Academy. As you recall, within the 3 years on your conditional ARL license, you will need to complete the required professional development, meet with your site-based mentor, complete all of the licensure area university coursework, additional testing, as well as receive 2 effective evaluations. So essentially, the Accelerated Licensure Teacher Academy is a 3-year process. Now, CCSD is not the only state-approved ARL provider in Nevada. In fact, there are several other programs that offer a variety of licensure areas. If you're interested in teaching a subject not offered by the CCSD ALTA program, please remember to check out one of these providers, as many offer different licensure areas such as foreign language, art, music, or PE. For more information, please refer to the information that accompanies this recording. Now let's talk about the ALTA application. The ALTA application process is competitive and all requirements must be met prior to the application deadline. Incomplete applications will not receive consideration. Applicants must have a conferred bachelor's degree with a minimum 2.75 GPA, be eligible to work in the United States, and pass required competency testing. If you are applying for the Accelerated Licensure Teacher Academy and have an education degree, you will need to ensure that a student teaching course is not listed on your transcript. The competency testing required for the Accelerated Licensure Teacher Academy is based on your chosen area of licensure. For the elementary and special education programs, applicants will need to take and pass all 3 sections of the Praxis Core or California Basic Educational Skills Test, also known as CBEST. Secondary candidates will also need to pass all sections of the Praxis Core or CBEST assessment, and because secondary licensure is subject-focused, they will also need to pass an additional Praxis subject assessment. All testing must be completed and passing score reports submitted prior to the application deadline. Please note you cannot combine tests. For example, you cannot submit passing praxis math scores with passing CBEST reading and writing scores. Additional information on exam prices, registration, testing windows, and more are included in the documents accompanying this recording. Because of current educational licensure changes at the state level, candidates will need to ensure their testing dates are within the most current 5-year window in order to apply for a conditional license. To assist you with testing preparation, CCSD has partnered with Teachers Test Prep. Teachers Test Prep is a website that specializes in supporting aspiring teachers with testing preparation resources for a variety of competency assessments. Some resources are free and some are for a cost. If you are interested, you can create an account and take a practice assessment to identify areas of study. Please refer to the Teachers Test Prep flyer included in the attached documents. The ALTA application is completely online. You will need to include your updated resume and degree-conferred transcripts. Because CCSD is not a score recipient, you will also need to upload a copy of the Praxis or CBEST score report you received from the testing entity. You will also need to submit 3 supervisory references and a 7-year work history with no unexplained gaps. You have been provided additional information regarding application directions as part of the accompanying documents. We have 3 application deadlines each year. To be considered for the fall cohort, which usually begins in late August or early September, you must complete all portions of the application, including uploading passing exam scores, by May 1st. To be considered for the spring cohort, which usually begins in mid to late January, you must complete all portions of the application, including uploading passing exam scores, by October 1st. Both the fall and spring cohorts are for an elementary, secondary, and special education programs. To be considered for the late spring cohort, which usually begins in late April, you must complete all portions of the application, including uploading passing exam scores, by January 1st. And please note, this is a special education cohort only. Please also be reminded that all testing must be completed prior to the application deadline. Additionally, if you are a current CCSD support staff employee, you will need to ensure you have enough time accrued, such as vacation days, not sick leave, for your 20-day field experience. All field experience days must be completed by the established deadlines designated by the ALTA team, which is usually toward the end of the semester in which the program begins. We have recently added a new feature to the application and selection process, a virtual interview. Qualified candidates will be asked to submit responses to several interview questions, which will be considered alongside all other application requirements mentioned earlier. Candidates will receive the questions in advance and have an opportunity to prepare responses. All responses are submitted via an online platform and must be 1 minute or under per question. Virtual interviews allow the Accelerated Licensure Teacher Academy team to examine candidate attributes and attitudes when making the selection for each cohort. We want you to thrive as a teacher and will support you along your journey. After you sign a teaching contract, we welcome you into the Hive. The Hive represents all of the new teacher supports, events, and opportunities available from the Employee Onboarding and Development Department. Our Hive motto is Be Greater Together, and we will work to assist and encourage you throughout your first years of teaching. You will be invited to the New Teacher Kickoff event, be assigned a site-based mentor, and will have the opportunity to participate in online support forums along with a variety of professional development. Professional development includes conference-style events, motivational educational speakers, and even community partner site visits for classroom support. Think the Mob Museum or the Wetlands. The Hive will reach out with additional information regarding all of these levels of support once you are hired by CCSD. Speaking of being hired, let's talk about a few more perks of joining the CCSD team. New teachers start at $40,900, and when you include retirement and healthcare, the total employment package adds up to over $60,000. As a CCSD ALTA candidate, we will also provide additional hiring support once you near completion of the academy. So why wait? You can begin the next chapter of your life story, a new career in teaching. Start on your application with the CCSD Accelerated Licensure Teacher Academy today. Want more information regarding a specific component? Please refer to the FAQ document accompanying this recording. If you have additional questions regarding the ALTA training or process, please feel free to reach out to the CCSD ALTA team. We are excited to assist you in your journey to the classroom.